I'm Victoria Baylor, one half of the pair of the Tailor and the Dressmaker show. As you can tell, I am by my lonesome today. Mr. Jim was called out of town due to a family emergency, so we'll be happy to have him back for next week. But in the meantime, this will be part one of our episode in which I'll discuss transitioning into the fall and how to get your wardrobe ready for that. Just some quick little tips, tidbits, additional information, and I'll also interview a local fashion designer. You've seen her before. Her name is Stephanie Lark. We had her on the last episode. She's going to share some of her insights and original designs. So again, we miss Gentleman Jim. Let's all wish him well, wave to him, but he'll again join us next week where he'll cover, as I guess part of our transitioning to fall, he'll cover all things coats. So, you know, how we can use coats to help us transition, different types of fabrics, styles, and some of his techniques in sewing coats. So anyhow, let's get started with this episode. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys, and look forward to hanging out together for these few minutes and chatting. All right, let's move on to the next segment. We're going to talk a little bit more about some of the styles, trends, and colors associated with the fall. In this segment, we're going to cover some tips and ideas on how to transition for the fall. I can't believe that the first day of fall is actually this week. I mean, where did the summer go, right? That's what I'm saying. And if you've been like me, running around like a chicken with his head cut off, you probably haven't had time to really tune in and figure out what's going on in the fashion scene for the fall, what colors are relevant, and you know, kind of have some time to get your own ideas together about how you're going to change your own wardrobe to get ready for the cooler weather. So this segment should be very helpful to you. So let's talk color. Every year Pantone releases its colors for the seasons, and the colors for fall are no less than exciting, I have to admit. And I just looked them up today. Again, I've been super busy, so I need to get ready for the fall. But I knew, like most of you, that Marsala is a color for the year. But there are some really great colors for the fall. And I don't know about you, but I'm all for color during the fall. I don't tend to go drab, not too drab. I like my plaids. I like my, you know, heavier weighted clothing as you kind of progress into winter. But I still like to look light, airy, vibrant. Here's a dress I'm wearing that I made a few years back. Even though it's brown, and it's kind of incorporates my fall, winter colors. As you can see, there's nice splashes of this sky blue in it, and I think it makes it invigorating. And then there's, of course, floral prints that are done. It doesn't look like our grandmother's couch, but it's really exciting. Here's another dress, and even though this dress technically could be worn in the springtime as well, I like to still hold on to something like this even for the fall as well, and I made this a few years back. It reminds me of, oh, I always forget, it's not daffodils, it's the little flower that you blow. You probably remember. I'm drawing a blank. But anyway, the pattern on it is really cute. I think it is daffodils. I'll look it up later. But anyway, so the colors are great, and you know, even though it's a darker kind of color and it's not like your vibrant blues, it's still really pretty. This dark teal is nice, and it's accentuated with this lovely purple, and then there's some kind of, it's hard to describe what that color is. It's kind of like a goldish, it's some hint of green in it, but it's really pretty. It is kind of like a more muted gold. It's not as vibrant. But anyway, so I will get into my ideas about fall transitions later, but again, in the vein of colors, Pantone has released its colors, and I'm actually going to post those so you can see those in the next picture. But there are some interesting color choices, and so let's just take a look at those now. So let's go through these color choices for this, you know, for the fall. I love the names, by the way. Stormy Weather, Oak Buff, Dried Herb, Marsala, as mentioned earlier, Biscay Bay, Cadmium Orange. I love the vibrancy of that orange. Cashmere Rose, very beautiful color. So romantic looking. Desert Sage. I mean, sage done right, right? And then Amethyst Orchid. So amethyst is my birthstone, so I love the way that they even take that purple. It's really beautiful. And orchid's such a nice color. And if I'm not mistaken, that was the color, I think, of last year. Anyhow, it's really cool that Pantone picks the colors and systematizes those so that everybody will actually know what is defined as a certain color and can use it across the board. And that helps other people as they develop their fashion lines to stay consistent with a color choice. So great colors for the fall. Next, let's move on to fall trends. Fall trends are pretty interesting. I hadn't had time to do extensive research, but I did go to Elle.com to figure out some of the big trends. And there's about 20 right now. Some are a little bit more interesting than others, needless to say, but I will post a picture of those right now, so let's take a look. Okay, so now you can see what I'm saying. Some of those trend options are pretty interesting. Some that really stood out to me that were interesting. Let's just start with the ones I like. I like the idea of having bling. The more the merrier. I am a fan of costume jewelry, so that's really great. Gloves are neat. I've never considered really incorporating that in my wardrobe as opposed to wearing them with a cape, but maybe that would be motivation for me to make a cape this year. Gray suits to me are always in fashion. I mean, it's just sleek, chic, sexy. Gotta have a really great gray suit. High-waisted pants, I think, and they may have had some skirts that were suggested. Unfortunately, I'm out of the running for that since I'm short-waisted, but I think it's a really great style on people that are a little bit longer in their torso and can pull it off. The one shoulder look is always divine. Love that. And I am a fan of tights, so that always goes a long way with me. To me, that's the only reason why I like to wear pencil skirts as much in the fall, is that you can put the coolest little tights with those. And then one that really captivated me was the Nouveau Victorian look. So I kind of like that, the whole frilly kind of Victoria-esque era, really kind of romanticized pieces. I don't know, might think about incorporating some of that into my fall looks. Some of the ones that stood out that were just, how shall we say, just plain interesting. That is lady loafers, which nothing wrong with those. Some of them definitely were, yeah, they were they were definitely lady loafers. So they were pretty interesting. And for me, I don't know, I'm not very good at incorporating that kind of style into my looks, but definitely made me think a bit and stretch some of my ideas of fashion. The furry feet was interesting. For me, that's a no, but I think that's a very unique trend for the fall. I'm curious to see how that's going to pop up all over the place. Too long sleeves, also very interesting, very long. So some of these, as we know with trends, some of them can be a little bit subdued, and then others can be kind of way out there. And some of these were that for me. And then the turtleneck dickie, I found that to be very interesting. Just little small piece of turtleneck, no shirt, just the dickie around your neck. Very interesting. So anyway, check those out again. Very cool. Some of you guys are really hip, know how to kind of play with those and make them your style. Trends are just that. They're just trends. I'm usually not a trendsetter, and I'm not usually a trend follower. I like what I like, but it's really neat to know what's out there. It's kind of get your own wheels turning. So I want to talk now about fall transitions and some of my suggestions and some of my ideas. And we'll actually turn to the table. I'll do a little bit of table work and show you, some of my fabric choices, patterns, and so on and so forth. So let's just do that now. So as I mentioned before, in this segment, I will highlight my own ideas and suggestions for transitioning, or at least show you how I transition for the fall. It involves changeover of fabrics, selecting, or I like to call the migration of patterns, getting some of your fall patterns out and getting ready. What I do have to admit, though, is that I do live in the region, a part of the country where the transition to fall is actually a very subtle one. So living in the southeast and kind of, Savannah, Georgia is a subtropical environment. So, as late as December, sometimes it's still fairly warm. So my transition might not be as drastic as someone else. So again, I'm not an expert on that, but what I like to do is showcase to you how I deal with making such a transition seasonally. So let's just take a close-up. We'll look at some of my fabric choices and my pattern choices. Okay, so let's talk about fabrics. So I have a few fabrics here, and just kind of give you an idea. Sometimes I buy things, of course, I just collect. I'm a collector, and I'll hold them until the right season. And there are just some prints and some things that I will will use just to, kind of get me in the mood. So here is one such print. I really love this burgundy. Now this does look like couch fabric, but in my mind it is gorgeous. And I would definitely use that for whether, it's a cute little shirt dress or something like that. I'm also a big fan of animal prints. So this is just ready for, fall. I plan to use that maybe for tunics or something of that nature. Here's another wonderful animal print. Love it. We'll also be using that for this fall. It's really beautiful. This is actually a peach skin. It's polyester, so it feels nice as well. I've made a jumpsuit out of a burgundy version of that fabric earlier this year. I even love this. So I said I don't mind color in the fall. So this beautiful print, floral print, I love all the colors, and some of them I think are there. Looks like, well, it's not the same orange for this season, but anyway, I love the colors, and I think there might be maybe one or two that might be on point for this season or close enough, but I love this. This would make a spectacular shirt dress in my opinion, or a cute blouse. Something else that might be a little bit more springy, but I would try to rock and get away with it and put on a gray or black cardigan and put some black tights on it with boots, would be a print like this. And then I'm a huge tights fan, so I'd love to just throw on a pair not tights, leggings. I've had this print in my stash forever, and I love this. It's black and it looks like a paint splatter or just distressed, and then it has the gray on top. Love this. Definitely be a pair of tights. I also like to incorporate a bunch of scarves, so that's a nice easy way to transition. Throw on like a tank top and a jacket with some jeans, and then throw on something that's fall like scarf. Those are great. Those are just ready to be sewn, and then like a print like this is really nice. And then something that's really great for transitions are furs. So I've seen people even wear furs in the springtime, but like a fur vest with a cute little tank top and boots, and jeans or something like that. But I love this. This is actually will turn into a vest. I actually have enough for me and my daughter, both of us, so we'll both have matching vests. So be on the lookout for that on my blog. It'll be coming soon. And then as far as patterns go, I pull everything out of my stash. I'm a huge fan of peplums, so definitely peplums will be on point again, like they're always on point with me. T-shirt dresses are nice. Most times I will make things in 3/4 lengths, so it helps with the transition. It's not committing to long sleeve. It's not committing to the cold just yet. It's right in between, which is really, really great. And then, when it gets cold, you can throw a cardigan or something on with that. Cute little vests are great too for the fall. Nice long sleeve blouses that are still light and loose that will go very well, and you still could wear them in the fall by layering them, like putting a jacket on top. Shirt dresses are great for the fall, really cute, not too long, not too warm, but just enough to catch those little cool nips. Here's another cute pattern. I mean, who doesn't like stripes or anything? I'm really into the jumpers, so I have not been able to make one this year, but I plan to definitely do one. And then one of my go-to fabric or fashion statements always is very cute, like knit pencil skirt, something of that nature. You throw a cute blouse on with that, and then I love putting on tights. So there's my outfits. I'm a huge pencil skirt fan, especially like a Ponte knit one during the fall. It's really, really great. And then here's some great tops that, just these nice little slouchy tops to throw on a pair of jeans and like riding boots or something of that sort. And here's another one. Again, not super long sleeves, so it'll just kind of catch those cool nips, but still be, very fall friendly. So these are just some of my tips, some of my techniques or ideas I wanted to share with you guys. I'm curious to hear how you transition to the fall. Definitely feel free to leave your ideas in the comment section of our YouTube video. Everybody has their own styles. I think that's really cool, and would love to know some of your ideas. All right, so in this segment, I'm honored and it's a pleasure to reintroduce to most of you guys who've already met Stephanie in our last episode. But I'm here with Miss Stephanie Lark of the Josio Design and Company. We're here, of course, talking about transitioning the fall, and she is a local fashion designer extraordinaire, and she will be talking to us about some of her ideas about fall transition clothing, and then also showcase some of her original designs. So, Miss Stephanie, How do you feel about fall fashions? What's your personal ideas about those?
Well, my personal idea about the fall fashion, first, I love fall. It's not too hot and it's not too cold. So in between that, you can wear winter with summer. So the skirt would be the summer piece, as usual. And this wool top is for fall. And you can put it together and give your own twist to it with the fall fashion.
Now, you know, it's actually interesting because I never even heard it put that way, honestly. I always thought of like mingling things, but I never thought about taking the actual winter piece ahead of time and putting it with something kind of spring or summer and then creating fall. That's kind of a neat concept, so thank you so much for that. So for the person that's really challenged in finding something to wear for fall, not knowing how to dress in between that transition, what would be your advice for them? Which I think you already highlighted, but do you have any further advice for that person?
Well, if they're trying to transition,
Mm-hmm.
well, with transitioning, you always go from the old to the new, or to the in-between to something that's going to balance you out. What you can do is you can get an old pair of jeans or a pair of jeans and that you have cut out. You can also get some jeans that's cut at the bottom, or just a tank top, but you can throw something over that to, you know, make it into the fall, because the fall is still not really cold.
That's true.
It's just a little windy
That's true.
before the winter comes in.
So it sounds like Stephanie, who has a really good handle on knowing how to take things and put it together, it sounds like layering is kind of like a big philosophy of yours when it comes to the fall. Is that kind of correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. That's a good suggestion. I think that's a suggestion for all of us.
Because you still want to be comfortable.
Yes.
Yes. And
That's it.
with you having your something on under it, you don't have to. You can also take it out if you go inside a building, or if you go inside of a office space where you're going to get comfortable. You can take your top piece off and just maneuver around.
Very true. And you know, as we know, and some other people probably across the country, it's normal to have like frigid mornings, and then by like the afternoon it's hot again. So you're absolutely right. Good suggestion. Well, another treat is that Miss Stephanie is actually wearing one of her original pieces, and it looks spectacular, y'all. I mean, you're seeing it on the other side of the camera, but being here in person, this is one of her original designs. We're going to let her tell you a little bit about that and kind of model it for us. So I'm going to step out.
Hi everyone, I'm going to talk a little bit about Minty Carol. Minty Carol. Every outfit that I make, I give it a name so that it can come to life with showing your S's. Where here I have fabric material wool, and I have a poncho, and have like a little twist to it. It's kind of like high-low. You can wear it with some jeans. You can wear it with a high-waist skirt. You can wear it with shorts. You can wear it with anything that you want to do to show your S's. The poncho on the end is a little lengthy. I had it come up, and it's going to be a little lengthy on the side. And you guys can wear it to different occasions. You can wear it on a night out with your girls. You can wear it on a night out with your husband or your babes, or you can even wear it at an event. With this right here, I'm going to be wearing this to a event so that I can get auctioned off. Well, this to give it a little bit of twist is elegant, is simple. That's the most important thing, is having something simple. Simple, elegant, high-end fashion with the collar. I have a big collar. It gives it a little bit more sexy look with it, more with the fall fashion. Contour. It's more contour. That's a part of Jasiel, having a little twist with the simple, elegant, and contour.
So thank you so much, Stephanie, for showing us your original design. I think that was an inspiration for all of us. Really great head-to-toe look.
Thank you.
So I understand that you have a lot of upcoming events where if anybody's interested, they can actually see you and some more of your work. Would you please tell us about that?
Yes. Yes, I will be a designer in the All Win Inc. fashion show, the Fashion with a Purpose. I will be having a couple of my designs in the fashion show. If you guys want to see more of my work in person, and how my models show their S's in Jasiel, you can come to the All Win Fashion Show, and that's going to be October the 16th, 2015, at the Mighty Oaks Museum in Pooler, Georgia. If you want more information about it, you can contact Catherine Cummings at 912-665-2590.
And as I understand it, Allwyn is a really kind of prestigious organization locally, and it's definitely an organization that benefits a great cause. Please tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes, it's the cause with the organization is assisting working women in need. That's the organization. If you want to know more about that organization, you can go on their website. It's allwyn.org. allwyn.org.
Okay, so it's a pleasure giving a shout out to such an organization. We love to give shameless shout outs to those working in our community diligently trying to help other people. And thank you, Stephanie, for being one of those people that are out there trying to help others, in addition to sharing some of your wonderful designs with us. So it has been a pleasure having you on the show again.
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks so much, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.